Hello everyone, welcome to Homework Help. If you find the video useful, please subscribe to the channel. In this video, we'll solve this problem using the concepts of domain, range, and inverse of a function. As per the problem, for x between -2 and 3 and f at x equals 3x squared minus 6x, determine the domain and range of f at x. So let's start with part A. The domain of f at x is given as x is between -2 and 3. So we can write the domain as we can write this domain in interval notation as now we can find the range. We know that range is for y values. The function f at x represents a quadratic function. The graph of a quadratic function is parabola. We know that a parabola has a vertex which is a turning point. The first step is to find whether the vertex lies within the given domain. We should find the vertex for this parabola. We can use the formula method. The x-coordinate of the vertex can be found using the formula x equals -b over 2a. In the given quadratic function, a is equal to 3, the coefficient of x squared, and b is equal to -6. We can sub in these values in the formula. Minus -6 is equal to +6. I get x equals 1. This means the vertex lies in the given domain for f at x. Next, we can find the y-coordinate for the vertex by subbing in x as 1 in the given function equation. One square is 1, 3 times 1 is 3. The y-coordinate is -3. We can write the vertex as 1, -3. This parabola opens in the upward direction because the a value is positive. That means the vertex represents the lowest point on the parabola. So for the range, -3 represents the lower limit. Next, we should find the higher limit for the range. For that, we should sub in the endpoints of the given domain in the function f at x. Let's start by subbing in x as -2. -2 squared is 4, 3 times 4 is 12. -6 times -2 is +12. I get 24. Next we can sub in x as 3. Three squared is 9. 3 times 9 is 27. I get 9. If I have to sketch all of this information for this function f at x, the vertex is at 1, -3. The domain is from -2 to +3. At x equals -2, the y value is 24, but since -2 is not part of the domain, we can show the point as a open dot for this function. And at x equals 3, the function value is 9. I can show the parabola like this. As per this sketch, the range of the function is from -3 to 24, but -3 is included in the range and 24 is not included in the range. We can write this range in interval notation as we are done with part A. Now we can answer part B. We have to find the equation of the inverse of f at x if f at x is further restricted to x is between 1 and 3. So in this case, the domain for f at x is being restricted from 1 to 3. We should start by finding the inverse of f at x. The given function f at x is in standard form. In order to find its inverse, we should write the equation for f at x in vertex form. The general equation for vertex form is for f at x, a is equal to 3. H and k can be obtained from the vertex. H is equal to 1. The x-coordinate of the vertex, k is -3. Now we can write the equation in vertex form. Now we can start finding the inverse. We should replace function notation with y. Next, we should switch x and y. Now we have to solve for new y. The first step is to add 3 to both sides. Next, we should divide both sides by 3. Next, we can apply square root to both sides. On the right side, the square on y minus 1 and square root cancel each other out. Next, we can add 1 to both sides. this is the inverse of f at x. We can use the function notation for inverse. We have to find the equation of the inverse if the domain for f at x is restricted from 1 to 3. The domain from 1 to 3 on f at x is this part of the graph. We know that the domain for a function is the range for the inverse of the function, and the range of a function is the domain for the inverse of the function. So the range for the inverse should be from 1 to 3. Since the range of the inverse is from 1 to 3, we have to ignore the negative case in this equation for the inverse for f at x. That means for the domain of f at x to be from 1 to 3, the equation for inverse should be so this should be the answer for the equation for the inverse of f at x. The domain for this inverse will be the range for f at x when its domain is restricted from 1 to 3. So the domain for this inverse will be x is between -3 and 9. None of these values are included in the domain because the range for f at x when x is between 1 and 3 will be from -3 to 9, the endpoints being not included because 1 and 3 are not included in the domain. So this should be the final answer for part B. So these are the steps you have to keep in mind to solve a problem like this one. So I hope you'll find this video useful. Please share it, like it, and subscribe to Homework Help. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye.